Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast with Core for Complete Fitness. Your episode is starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, peoples. Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast. Hope you guys are having a great week. Hope you're having a good end of June, going into July. It's weird to say, but the first month of summer is already almost done, and I feel like it hasn't really even been that summery out. But before we get going, like always, guys, if you could please be so kind as to subscribe to this podcast, whether you're listening on iTunes or Spotify or Audible or YouTube, whatever your preferred listening app of choice is. If you subscribe, guys, it helps us bump up the charts, and that way we can get more viewers. And when we get more viewers, that means we can help more people. So it will help us out a lot if you could just take 2 seconds and do that for us. And then also, if this baby has helped you or anybody else in any sort of fashion, or if there's somebody that you're like, hey, I know X, Y, and Z, or my mom or my dad or my brother could hear this message, it'll help them out a ton. Or if you think there's somebody out there that you know it could help, please feel free to share it with them. Share it on your social media handles. Text it to them, whatever works for you. But that way, like I said, we can keep helping other people and keep on growing this podcast, which is why we do it all in the first place. Now, let's get down to the nitty gritty, the fun stuff. It was a long weekend for Mr. Cory. If your kids ever go to dance, or they do any of the recital stuff, I kind of thought when we signed up for this that it was going to be, well, not easy, but I was like, how difficult can it be? They dance to a song for 2 minutes and then they're done and they hang around. They dance to a song for 2 minutes. This shit was going all week, all weekend. We had a birthday party. They had a recital Friday. Our kids had the other one on Saturday. Just a lot of running around. My wife is working on the weekend, so just a crazy, crazy time. But glad it's over. Apparently, that's like their Super Bowl for dance. So once it's done, they have a little break, and then they start up again. But if you have kids, not telling you what to do, but just put them in some damn sports. Have them play softball, have them play baseball, hockey, basketball, whatever it is. It's fun. You get to cheer, you get to yell, have a good time, as opposed to us sitting there for 3 hours in a row watching all these little dancers. But whatever. It makes your kids happy, then that's why you do it. So whatever. Now, leading into the pod today, one of the questions we get asked, or that people get super duper confused of, today's topic is kind of on metabolism, protein, how to kind of manipulate your body to work in your favor. And one of the biggest questions people ask is, what the heck is my metabolism? How do I ramp it up? Do I need it up? Can it go too high? Is mine too low? Where is my metabolism? Here is what your metabolism is essentially. It's the rate at which your body burns off fat and calories and uses them for energy, which is good. You want it to be as high as you possibly can, so that way you can eat and not have to gain weight. Problem is with a lot of people, and this might sound familiar to some of you guys, your body, just like with exercise, adapts to certain behavior patterns, where if you are eating too low of calories for a very long period of time, your body will end up going, oh, well, I know I'm not getting over 1,000 or 1,200 calories a day, so my metabolism, let's lower that down here because I don't need to be supercharged way up here because I'm not getting very much food. Which is fine in theory, but what ends up happening, guys, is let's say Monday you get 1,200, which is what your metabolism's set at. Tuesday, 1,200. Wednesday, you have a birthday party and someone brings in donuts to the office and you have 2,200. Boom. There goes a pound of fat that you just gained, or whatever. Just wait. Then you go to the next day. Okay, same exact plan. I'm back to 1,200. Didn't gain. Oh, Friday comes. I'm going to go out, get a couple margaritas with my girlfriends. Boom, there's another pound. And you can see how your metabolism's being set too low is actually doing you a disservice, right? That's why it's super important, guys, to get your metabolism nice and high and nice and healthy, or as healthy as you possibly can. And the way that you do that is by eating real foods and not eating crap. So a lot of us, like I said, for years, let's say we were getting 1,500 calories a day and everything was hunky-dory and we feel great. And we go, hey, I want to lose a couple pounds. So let's back this down to 1,200. And you lose a couple more pounds and then you get stuck. And then you're like, well, crap, I need to lose weight again. So what do? Well, I guess I'll drop more calories. And then you go to 1,000. And then you get to 700 or 750. And eventually it's like you paint yourself into this corner where you're like, what the hell is going on? I'm not eating. I can't lose a pound. I guess I'm just not supposed to be healthy. And I guess I'm not supposed to be in shape. My plea to you is this. Give yourself a week or 2 weeks. Don't pig out, but reset your metabolism. If you usually don't eat till 11 or 12 o'clock, focus on getting a protein shake or eating a couple hard-boiled eggs right when you wake up. Trick your body again to getting your metabolism nice and high, or even though you're going to be getting more calories in, probably getting in some more protein, it's going to send that trigger into your brain where it goes, oh, I'm not starving. I'm getting in food, clean food, healthy food. Let's, rev up this engine and let's start burning all this stuff up. And then once you're operating at that 10 RPM level again, then if you want to go back into a caloric deficit, everything will click. But for a lot of us, we get so focused on cutting calories, that you cut too much and then you have nowhere else to go. And then you're just kind of stuck there and people get frustrated. But, don't be alarmed, guys, if that week where you are ramping it up, if you gain a pound, 2 pounds, think of it this way. You have to go up to be able to go back down. So think of it kind of like a roller coaster, how you're riding that thing up slowly to get it to drop super duper quick again. So that's my little analogy for you. Now, with your food choices, guys, one of the biggest things people have trouble with is, how can I say this without pissing everybody off, is being real with yourself, being true with yourself, basically having a set of non-negotiables in terms of your diet, in terms of your food choices. See, a lot of us play victim to, oh, I got invited to this. Oh, there's an X in the break room. Oh, just this once I'm going to get Starbucks on Monday. Or just this once I'm going to go through McDonald's drive-thru coming up. Or, well, we were supposed to have a salad, but this time I'm going to have a pizza. And those non-negotiables, or that structure that you built in, goes completely null and void. And then before you know it, you aren't following anything. So if I have a homework assignment or a chore for you guys today after you listen to this or you watch this, I want you guys to either put in your phone, write it down, put it on the fridge so that way you see it every day. Set a lineup of non-negotiables. You don't have to have 10 things, but 3 or 5 things that you know on a weekly basis is going to be there to actually guide you through the week. Otherwise, if you're just so willy-nilly that the first thing that pops up, you're like, oh, I'm going to grab that, going to eat that. You're not following anything. And then you're like, oh, well, I feel like I should have a salad because I had 4 days that I was a complete shit show. That's where people get in trouble. So as far as non-negotiables, I'll give you an example of mine. No fast food unless it's like, oh my God, I have to eat something. For instance, we're going to see my wife's family next week. It's an 11-hour trip going down to North Carolina. Obviously, I'm going to have to stop and get something. I'm going to still try to eat super clean, probably get beef jerky for a snack at the gas station, fill up on water. But there's going to be a point where I'm like, crap, I have to break one of my non-negotiables, but it's because I'm on the road for 11 hours in a row. Obviously, you're going to have to eat. But my rule of thumb is during the week, no fast food ever, unless it's something like we are going on a road trip and I have to absolutely eat something. We're not going on a road trip usually 99% of the year. So I try to never, ever eat fast food. And usually, guys, once you cut it out of your diet and cut it out of your way of life, you don't even think of it as an option anymore because you know that card is completely off the table. So when it comes time to eat or get a snack or something, you know that part just does not exist. So the temptation isn't even there because you know it's not even a real thing. So that's one of my non-negotiables. Number 2, cutting off eating at 8 o'clock on the nose. Now that means dinner, that means snacks, that means everything. At the stroke of 8, depending on work and when we put the kids to bed, sometimes I'll bump it to 8:30, but for the most part, guys, 8 or 8:30 have to be completely done eating, and depending on when I stop eating the following morning, I either pick it back up at 11 or 11:30. That gives me a big long window to fast, a big long window to burn off whatever I ate. So that's another one of my non-negotiables. The other one is caffeine. Big thing of coffee in the morning just to get my mind right. Then if I want some more caffeine in the afternoon, then I can. No pop, no anything. As you can see, whenever I'm on this, I try to make it a point to drink at least 4 of these a day to make myself hydrated. Another non-negotiable. But you can see, guys, when you're just so whatever, I'm just going with the flow and how I feel and I need that, you're not setting yourself up for success and for success to win. Now, in that same breath, guys, you can have non-negotiables that also let you live your life, right? If you know automatically every Friday night or every Saturday night or every Sunday morning, like, is your family time to either go out to breakfast, or like our kids made cinnamon buns on Sunday, or Friday night is like you rent a movie and you have pizza. Put that into your program as one of your non-negotiables. Say, okay, I'm going to do really, really good Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because I know Friday night is my golden rule. That's my one family night where I can have some popcorn or cheat a little bit and not have to beat myself up about it because I followed my plan the rest of the time. I think for a lot of people, they think that they have to be so perfect and to get to the end of their journey that it's just misery and it's salads every day and it's chicken every day and it's this. No, you have to build a plan that works for you. And you can always change your plan, guys. It's not like you have to do this for the next 10 years in a row. If after 6 months you're like, hey, I'm going to eliminate caffeine and I'm going to see how I do. Cool. Iron that in, and you can keep adapting and keep evolving and keep growing. But for a lot of us, we get so hyper focused on perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm not allowed to eat this. Oh my gosh, a cupcake. Oh, I'm not allowed to have that. That's where people get into super big trouble, guys, because then when that temptation finally breaks, or that moment where you're like, screw it, I haven't had a cookie in 7 months, I'm having a damn cookie, all the wheels fall off and you set yourself back even more. So let yourself live your life. That's what makes life enjoyable. What makes it actually worth living. But you have to build a structure and you have to build those non-negotiables. So again, guys, 3, probably 5 tops. Again, mine, spitballing them here. No drive-through, no fast food. Stop eating either 8 or 8:30 on the nose. And what that does usually, guys, is it tricks your brain to where you go, okay, I want a cookie, I want a cookie, I want a cookie. And if it's like 7:58 and you're like, all right, if I want a cookie, I got to have it in the next 2 minutes. And you're kind of like, I'm good. I really don't need it. Whereas opposed to you go in bed, your head starts spinning. Oh, go down and get the cookie. You know you missed your opportunity. Try again tomorrow if you really want that stupid cookie. And normally you're just kind of having a weak moment. So when are you going to stop eating is mine. Hydrate, 2 caffeinated drinks a day. The rest of the time, water, water, water. Date night, depending on what we're doing. Sometimes it'll be Sunday morning with the kids. Sometimes you might go out to Applebee's or something real nice, dressed up family dinner at Applebee's on like a Saturday night or a Friday night. And then if I'm going to have a couple drinks, one night a week only, not every single night. That doesn't mean one night I stay up till 2 a.m. drinking. I have one night a week where I let myself have a drink or two going in the hot tub or we're doing yard work. That's it. Otherwise, if you have no rules to follow, guess what? You're not following anything at all. So set those rules in play. Be strict with yourself. Be honest with yourself. And if you have those weak moments, guys, that kind of gives you the template to build everything off of rather than you just kind of winging it and guessing, where you're supposed to be. Now, the other thing, and I think I touched a little bit on this last time, but this kind of ties into the metabolism stuff. Protein. Everybody wants to know, what is the magic number of protein that I should be getting? If you want to get super scientific, guys, they say about 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. If you don't want to do the calculation, easy way to do it is just a little bit less than half your body weight in grams of protein. I try to do usually between 20 to 30 grams of protein for most meals. That kind of gives you, again, this template to go off of. You don't have to have the same thing every day, but if in the back of your mind, for whatever your major meals are, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, give a look at your plate and say, is protein kind of the star of what I'm eating? If the majority is carbohydrates or the majority is fats, or your protein is this big, but you have a big old plate of pasta like this, you know that balance is out of whack. Here's the reason why protein is so important. A lot of people think they're going to get these big, huge, gigantic muscles from eating protein for all their meals. Not true. As you can see, I work out every single day, and I'm just under 200 pounds. So I like to think I'm in pretty good shape for my age, but I'm not an Arnold Schwarzenegger by any means, and this is how I eat, generally speaking, 99% of the time. As we get older, as we age, they say we lose, I think it's between 3 to 5% of our muscle mass every 10 years. So it gets harder and harder to be strong, stay strong the older we get, because our muscle starts to go away and we tend to hold on to body fat. This is why I plead with you guys to please, please, please incorporate some type of strength training into your routine. Now, as you're strength training, you want to repair those muscles to keep them strong and keep them, showing and toned and all that stuff. So the way to do that is you need them to repair themselves. And your protein that you get, whether it's a protein shake, whether it's eggs, whether it's a chicken breast, whether it's a piece of fish, that goes into your body, breaks down into branched chain amino acids. Then those go right into your muscles, helps them repair them. And it's in the repairing process that the muscle actually gets stronger and you actually see results. So if you're just so focused, guys, on hitting the gym, and your diet is crap, they say you can't out-train a bad diet, right? That's the reason why, is you have to make sure that you're giving your body what it needs to succeed. You're giving your muscles what it needs to succeed. Otherwise, you're fighting that battle that's going to just be a losing battle. If you're not pushing yourself and you're not challenging yourself and you're not giving your body what it needs to succeed, I've said this before a billion times, but it's the best analogy in the world for your body, is think of it like an automobile. If you're dumping sugar and water inside of the gas tank and you lay on the accelerator or you try to turn the car over, it's not going to sound very good, and it's probably going to end up riding like absolute crap. So it's imperative, guys, that you get protein into your diet just so you can keep up with Father Time. You're not always going to be able to beat it, but you sure as heck can fight it as long as possible and kick that can down the road as long as possible. You guys have seen, depending on the age of people, I was talking to somebody in the gym about this not too long ago, but just about like people aging now. And 70 years old now is not what 70-year-old people were, even 10 to 20 years ago. There's 70-year-olds that are doing marathons, I can't talk marathons. Marathons are people that are doing Ironmans. There's people here that are 70 or pushing 70. I won't say their names, but they're rock stars in here. And if you saw them jump and move and get up on a box and do a kettlebell swing or do a dumbbell snatch, you would go, there's no way that person is 70 years old. Well, it's part of it is because people actually are starting to take better care of themselves now. But in that same token, guys, there's people that are still 70 that are pushing around walkers, just like there's people that are in their 50s or 40s that have heart trouble, that are overweight, that are obese, and there's people that are, you think about NHL or pro athletes. I think it was like Chris Chelios played or Lindstrom played till he was probably, I think it was almost 40 years old, which is insane. Me saying that and being 37 and like the amount of time it takes for me to recover from stuff is nuts to think that somebody was doing this at the professional level with the intensity they were. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is, despite your age, despite your male or female, you can be 70 years old doing box jumps, lifting up heavy stuff, running, jumping, lifting, moving, and not having to think twice about it because of what you put into your body and the care that you took of your body. Or you can be 70 and you can be pushing around a walker, having somebody help you out of a chair, having somebody lift your feet or put your shoes on, right? Both of those people are the same age, but I guarantee you, if you kind of went behind the scenes, one person did a lot of stuff in the earlier years to take care of themselves and the other one maybe didn't. You can play that game with anybody, people in their 30s, people in their 20s. Your metabolism starts to slow up, which we talked about earlier in the podcast, but you can see, you might have had friends that when you were in high school were string beans, and you see them at a reunion and you're like, holy shit, that's the same person as like double the size. Part of it is they probably didn't switch up their diet from when they were a teenager or when they were a kid, and they kept eating all the same crap. And now they weren't able to kick the can down the road as long as they'd like, and it's finally caught up to them. So you have the power to create your reality going forward. Unfortunately, one of the things of being an individual is we're all going to be 6 feet under one day. I don't think we're ever going to not be able to avoid that, but you can prolong that situation as much as humanly possible and make the second or quarter or 3/4 of your life the most enjoyable that you possibly can by taking care of yourself. And like I said, not saying you have to block out going to a party or having fun or things like that. Part of living your life is being able to enjoy your life. But just like we talked about, guys, if you don't have a template that you're living your life off of, or non-negotiables in place that you live your life off of, if you're just going every little bit of, temptation that comes up, whether it's a cupcake or a drink or a slice of pizza or a greasy burger or something, if you're just going yes, 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 eventually, guess what? That reality of being on the bad part of 70 or 50 or 40 or whatever it is going to come a lot quicker than going the other way. So my plea to you guys, protein, strength training, eat, don't starve yourself, figure out what your non-negotiables are, and watch how much better your life gets. And these aren't monumental changes, guys, but they're the things that okay, I'm not going to mess this up, and this is just the way that I have to live my life. And like with starting anything new, when you first start stuff, it's the most challenging in the beginning, just like it would be with exercise or anything or woodworking or whatever. It's always the hardest because it's new and you're learning how to do it, you're learning how to operate, and then after a week, you're like, okay, I kind of got my routine down. I wake up and I have this, I have a glass of water before I have coffee or X, Y, and Z, and that helps you iron out your day. When you can win the day, guys, you can win the week, and when you win weeks, you win months, and then when you win months, you win years. So kick some butt, take some names, and close out the rest of the month strong and on fire. Like always, my plea to you guys, if you need supplements or protein, which all of you should, if you just listen to this podcast, head to core4supplements.com. We have the best protein on planet Earth. I've said it every single time. Evan has said it every single time. Our members said it. Our coaches even. Taylor was here in the morning and she said, this is literally the best protein I've ever had. And I said, I know. And she's like, I thought you were just telling me this because this was our brand and you wanted me to drink it. And I was like, no, if it tasted like shit, I would tell you it tastes like shit. It really is the best protein shake you've ever had. So if you're looking and you've tried stuff and you're like, this is gross, I don't like the taste, it's too chalky, it's too this, I'm telling you, you won't find a better tasting protein shake on the market. Head to core4supplements.com. The vanilla one's great. The chocolate one's great. The cinnamon bun one's great. All of them are delicious, guys. They're so freaking good. How often do you have a protein shake and you want another protein shake? I will literally drink one and then be pissed off that I can't pour another one because it'll upset my stomach. So protein shakes, we got you covered. We got collagen gummies. We got deep sleep gummies. We got pre-workouts. We got thermogenic fat burners, cardio kickstart, and we have vegan protein too if the whey upsets your stomach as well. But head to core4supplements.com. If you use the code word podcast at the checkout, you will save 10% off of everything. So if you want to stock up for a month or 2 months, and save on shipping and get a discount. If you spend over $100, you get free shipping. And like I said, if you use the code word podcast at the checkout, you'll save 10% on everything. So steal away. Have a great week, guys. Go into July, rolling, Proud of you. Kick some butt, take some names, close out the month strong, and I will see you all in here next week. Adios.